up and what the dates are and that sort of stuff. So just kind of looking for, are you supportive of us bringing something simplified back?
No.
I'll give you a long answer.
No, I'll let you go ahead.
I was gonna say, I appreciate how council worked before, and I appreciate the idea that we meet as a group of 7 to make decisions, and that's different than meeting as a group of 7 to get information. So I don't have a quote unquote problem with what you said that way, but I wonder if one of the reasons for wanting to talk about any of this stuff was that council meetings were getting so long. Nothing that you just said made me think, oh, great, a meeting's going to be much quicker.
No, but if we, and that's why I think they should be on different days, because you have an opportunity here to look at different, I know you've heard from the public and you've been back and forth a couple of different times on stuff. So you could do council meetings during the day where we have people that would come and professionals that need to present to you for closed session and things like that. And you could do committee of the whole in the evening where the public has an opportunity to attend, or you could do them both during the day, but on different days so that we're not running in, because I don't know if you remember, but we used to do P&T at 1. And then we would have to stop for council at 4. And then after council, we would come back into P&T because we never got done what was required. So I'm not suggesting that it's going to actually be shorter. I think we need more time together, given especially the amount of days that we have to book to be doing all of this other stuff. I'm thinking split it up, make them different days. We're still going to spend the same amount of time, but we're not going to be jumping back and forth and running out of time, or council ran all day, so we're not doing P&T this week, right? That's what I'm trying to avoid.
And my no was a concern, and you can, I'll throw it out there and you alleviate my concern, is that we're gonna do everything, I'm gonna use the word behind closed doors in governance and committee, or governance and priorities committee and committee of the whole and blah, 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 blah. And then we're gonna go out and we're gonna make motions and we're all gonna say, yep, yep, no, yep. And the public, in our council meeting, the public doesn't hear any of the push and pull of a conversation. Wayne and Mark getting into a difference of opinion and how we come around to actually getting to the point where I vote the way I voted. And just because it's live streamed, I'm not convinced that the public is going to log on to the meeting and then log on to committee of the whole and governance and priorities to see all the back debate that led to me simply raising my hand every time someone makes a motion. And so I'm saying, alleviate my concern that that's not what our council meetings will end up being. And I'm asking.
Yeah,
Alleviate my concern.
I don't think they will. I think there's still, I use today as an example. On the agenda today, there in consent agenda, there was, or for committee of the whole, there was fire apparatus replacement policy. It didn't get pulled. We were looking for feedback. So maybe it shouldn't have been consent, but because it was information and the way that the bylaws set up, it had to go into there. And so I said to Amber, we're pushing this. We're bringing this to the next P&T because we need that push and pull. But once a motion's been made, that's not the time to push and pull, because then we're changing motions and we're making amending motions and on and on and on. You need to work through all those things in this format and then go in there. And some of them are going to be, yep. And you can give a little history. We debated this, or we can even put it in our RFD. Council discussed this.
But we can't debate it in.
You just can't make decisions here.
No, a debate doesn't happen until the motion. We can discuss in this room.
Yes.
We can have questions, we can do all that. So if we're going to look at it, and I'll look to Jack, because, right, is that where we're getting into discussion and not supposed to be talking to administration anymore, like, and I'll do it in a debate. I did it today. Administration, am I thinking this way? Am I thinking that way? Am I doing this? Okay, that happens in this room, but at no point should Wayne and I be back and forthing, because that's the debate, and the debate has to happen in council
Right, and
chambers.
that will still happen. And by the time, like, let's say we have this meeting this week and the council meeting that you're gonna make the decision is next week. How many times have you walked away from a discussion and not had a sober second thought and then made a different direction in council? Like, I still think that stuff is still gonna happen. We could have talked about fire apparatus replacement policy today, and we could have gotten some really good feedback. And then by the time next week comes and you're asked to make a decision, you're gonna make some changes.
And Wayne, you did really well today to ensure that Mayor Bronco's debate wasn't happening in this room.
I used the wrong. I'm still on vacation brain and I might not be using the right.
Right? So he was about to debate and you were like, this isn't the place that belongs here. And 100% I agree, we'll have to police ourselves, police each other, get help to be like, oh, this isn't now asking questions. This isn't information. This is us starting to form an opinion.
And I can tell you other communities that do break this out and they have them all videoed. They're tracking who, like how many people watch each video, and more people watch the committee meetings than they do the decisions. Yeah, because this is where the juicy stuff is. And then they can read our council recap to see who's approved or read the minutes, right? On what the decision was. These are the ones that get more views. And
I didn't hear, that's one thing I didn't hear you say though, that I think was part of what Wayne was asking, was confirm that the public will get to see it. So what does public get to see? Today, the door is open, so it's public. We shared the link with a couple people, so, and we're recording it.
yeah,
Like, there's a whole lot of
it would be more like council.
spectrum of what does public mean.
Yeah, so it would be recorded like the council meeting is, the agendas, like it would follow the same process as the council meeting.
So recorded and published recording.
And
An
people-
invitation to attend.
People are allowed to attend, yeah, and this would be the place where I would say you should have delegations, because you're not making decisions with delegations, right?
An open mic.
Like,
I would say yes to open mic delegation. Oh yeah, as long as it's public reported, because I want the public to see the delegations. Sure.
and then if there is direction, then it's something we could bring, like if you want to give us direction based on a delegation, we could bring it to the next council meeting.
And that would help us a lot with new business where we don't get dry, where we start to get confused easily, where we know we've had this discussion
Is it new?
and I need to now add something because we start to want to make decisions in council, even though we know it's for information, then we start going that way. And then we did it today where you're like, oh, I got to step back and like,
So for me, I think it's having two separate things, that's fine. But I would want them on the same day. I truly worry if I do. And the reason I say that is I worry of hurting the cats. That all of a sudden, instead of having 7 of us here every 2 weeks, that we may have 5 to 7 one week and then 5 to 7 the following week. And the commitment when we ran was this, and now it's this. And so whether or not that means that this begins at 9 a.m. and then we have council at 4, so be it. Right? As opposed to whatever it is, set that time. But I personally would want it all on the same day.
We just need to manage the schedule to make sure that. Yeah. Or we work in things like mandatory dinner breaks, you know, lunch, that sort of stuff, like we shouldn't be working through, and that's been part of the problem is that, and there's gonna be times where the staff are just like, I gotta leave, we've been here for 10 hours, right?
Absolutely.
Bunch of women.
I'm with you. Well, no, but the bylaw, I don't know if it still says it, but it used to say after 8 hours, you had to have a motion to continue.
Would that be for one meeting or,
Yeah,
so then if we'd had two, it would pertain?
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so, yeah, just, I guess, feedback.
I hesitate to readily agree with my colleagues. In that I've experienced some long days. And I don't know that I am my best self or have the mental clarity after 8 hours, after, sometimes even after 5, like, but for sure, when we're hitting 10 and 12 and we're getting punchy, like, right, like, I'm not giving my best service to each other. And when, I don't know, I just see us being more productive, mentally alert, sharper. Maybe nobody else struggles with that, but I will say, at times, it's an act of my will to stay focused, and continue to contribute. And right now, yeah. It's instead of 10 hours, 5 hours plus 5 hours, different days. I think there is value in that. But I also agree with the herding cats thing, and what did we discuss last week? Oh yeah, there's gonna be some, because who doesn't remember everything, right? Like,
Type of system before.
Yeah, this is what we used to have here, and I
Just
just
like,
say
what-
Albert
what-
grants this way too. We
long
would-
days or 2 days?
Long days,
Long
but we
days.
would split it up. Um,
Sort of P&T at 1,
P&T at
council at 4.
yeah. And then, but in council, committee of the whole was broken out separately. The deputy mayor would come in, and then that changed the last one, but like St. Albert, Spruce Grove, I think Beaumont, Kathy's not here. Most of the communities run either a governance and priority or a committee of the whole separate from council on a different day. But like I watch Spruce Groves every once in a while when something interesting comes up, I'll take a look and I see their recordings. And their meetings don't go more than a couple of hours, like, but I think. Yeah.
And I'm wondering then if if only decision-making at 4 o'clock, we'd be done by 5, yes. Whereas if we started P&T at 9 AM, 10 AM, whatever, right? That would give us lots of time to get to 4 o'clock, because we would start at 1, and for the most part, we were done by, not only, but almost.
Or you're gonna know what's on P and T, so you kind of know if you'll be here for an hour, 4 hours.
Was maybe the whole also part of B&T?
It used to be part of council, but what we're suggesting is just break them out. P and T's gone, it's committee of the whole. Any council committee, P and T, finance and audit, like all of them should just be committee of the whole.
So council is just decisions, everything else is committee of the whole. Fine.
And that would take away consent agenda. So all the things on consent agenda that are just for information would come to committee of the whole.
I'm not gonna die on this hill. No, I'm just gonna mention it. My preference is decisions in the morning. Because that's when we're sharpest, and
In the
this is the
morning.
person who can't believe she's saying this out loud, but that's, when we're sharpest, when most of us are with it, when all of that stuff is happening. And the hard part of our job is to make the decision and be able to live in that decision. And I want to make sure that we're making that decision when we're at our best. And then discussions evolved in the afternoons.
Try it for 6 months and see how it goes, and then if it's not working well, you change it up. I don't, I haven't done
Especially at the org meeting, right, where you then set your council's schedule, right?
If we leave the decisions to the morning, it can be deciding on things that have been brought to us. We've got the agenda the 2 weeks before, make those decisions. So that it isn't, oh, I'm afraid of having decisions late in the afternoon of, oh, we had this discussion, quick, let's walk it on and make a decision. Whereas a lot gets filtered and thought about when we've got some time, when it went through an approval process. The public has seen it too. We've seen it for days or weeks.
And that's to Councillor Nielsen's point too, that used to happen. P and T would be a discussion that was not open to the public necessarily. And then council would walk in and have already discussed it and then make a decision. So we would just work very carefully to make sure that we're not falling into that trap.
So if decisions were made in the morning, that would, I think, would be
Yeah.
less likely to happen.
And we could make sure that our RFDs speak to when we talked about this on this day in committee of the whole. And then if people have questions, they can go back and look at that discussion that happened. Anyways, I'm just looking for, are you okay with us bringing something to another P and T in the future that has some structure around it that you might want to consider putting at a future date?
No,
I'll take him out for it.
no, I'm not opposed to looking at something, a new process for sure. I do, my concerns remain the same. I don't want to be seen as just rubber stamping everything that comes before council, just one after the other, and the council meeting is done in an hour and 25 minutes, and we pat ourselves in the back because, and the public says, oh, you're going behind closed doors. It's coming up rubber stamping everything. Anyway, if there's safeguards against that, sure, let's give something else a worry. I'm okay with that.
And for me, having this agenda, like, I'm okay the way we're handling it even now. Like, this is so much better by just having a simple agenda of getting things done.
Well, we used to come in here and say, okay, anybody got anything? And then it just turned into a complaint blitz.
Yeah,
I heard from my neighbor and he said this. Oh, yeah, I talked to somebody in the grocery store and they said that. Administration went out and said, these guys are all Looney Tunes. Like, what do they want us to do with this stuff? So,
never had an agenda before.
well,
Kinda.
but not like this, like.
No, this is excellent. Like,
Be focused.
and on that note, so I think if you're reading the room, the answer is yes, by all means, you can do something with that. And it will come back to us at some point in time, and then we will embark on something new and exciting. And I think we are rapidly reaching the bewitching hour.
Don't you have enough to get something else in before 4?
Absolutely, there's two more.
One.
It's like, because you can only have.
Let's do proclamation process, display of flags policy.
What is that?
I have no idea whose that was. Is that ours?
No, it was coming out of correspondence, because it had been, the previous agenda for our meeting earlier today had that as a delegation or for request for decision. At the gender review meeting for the Boys and Girls Club,
Yeah.
is that, why is this coming to us? Isn't there already a policy about how proclamations or flag raising things can come up? This was a gender review when you weren't here.
Okay.
Thank you, you managed it well. Thank you for moving it off into correspondence. That's just fine. But so now is somebody gonna respond to Boys and Girls Club? Are we gonna get scheduled for something? What is the policy? Or is there? And I didn't put this on here, but that's my quick interpretation of the last
But I
meeting.
also, I have a different concern because as I understand it, the government is also coming, provincial government is also coming out with what flags can be raised.
But they haven't changed that yet.
No.
And I don't know if raised and flown is two different things.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So part of me doesn't want to go and spend a whole bunch of administrative time only to find out that
We're gonna get
3 weeks down the road, there's gonna be a policy made that defeats the purpose.
We do have a policy though.
We do, and the province hasn't changed it yet. Once they do, we'll have to update our policy. But until then,
About proclamation last term.
yeah, we've got the proclamations, like,
So there's second question about the proclamations.
yeah, I just, we're not following the policy, so I'm just looking for feedback from council because we've sent a couple out, to council just saying like, here's what we've done in the past, here's the list of proclamations. Is anybody into this? Do you want to do it? Do you want to do other ones? We have the ability for people to request, which they've done. But I need somebody to, yeah, we're doing this.
How are we not?
So I'm gonna cut you off. I'm gonna go to Dean and then
Thank you.
Karen and then over to Laura.
So you talk about the, this. If I recall, you had sent an email to mayor and council of these are the ones that we're doing, normally do.
Yeah.
Did you get a response back from the mayor saying, yes, 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 yes? Like, what answer did you get back?
That's why, and that's partly why I wanted to bring this forward because to council, and my assumption is you approved it as information. You didn't have any big concerns with it. We're gonna go forward with it. Because, but we also need to get it in your calendars if you want to attend.
So does this maybe ties back into the expectations of mayor and council? Because there's no expectation on paper that the mayor needs to respond to you. Then we don't do it. But if it's something that's written saying that thou shall, like answer the email to whether or not to do this. Because there's nothing really saying that the mayor needs to answer that.
Sorry? Go ahead. Sure.
Thanks. I was gonna ask what the policy said. So the policy says we do X, Y, Z, or does the policy just say we make some proclamations? Because I don't remember it all off the top of my head. And it's not, I'm not disagreeing with what Dean said at all. It's when I read that email, I didn't take that to mean I was to answer that.
So. No, the policy says that just general criteria, it defines what a proclamation is and that the mayor is the chief elected official. It says the mayor of the city of Wetaskiwin has the discretion to issue a proclamation on behalf of city and city council. Requests for proclamations should meet the criteria, which we go through. It's sponsorship, agency, benefit or interest of the city, cause and initiative. The cause is an initiative of the city, public awareness campaign, charitable foundations, arts and culture celebrations, special honors organizations. Requests must be provided, must provide the background information. So they send in a request to us to ask for this, like,
So am I being a donkey when I assume, because I'm trying not to swear, when I assume, because that's based on previous, I never made that decision. Proclamations were made by council as a whole.
right? And they're not actually meant to, but we're not getting responses. So they have a quick deadline.
So do we need to update a policy that says X, Y, Z must be done? If they're like,
You could, or the other thing you could do is as a group, even say, yes, these are the standard proclamations that should be done and we agree, like we can draft up statements. And then it can be kind of an out of the can or
One-offs. Yeah, so these are the proclamations we will make.
There's a
And-
list, plunk it in the calendar.
Yeah, plunk it in, and then the administration says, yep. It gives Joe the proclamation to read, blah, 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 blah. And if it's a one-off of that, then they go through some kind of other process, not unlike what you've already talked about.
just need somebody to.
Well,
Yes.
I guess that gets,
Sorry, say yes
This
to
is-
what?
That you're comfortable.
well, that's,
What proclamation?
Any of them.
All of them? Any of them?
And you.
The ones in
request
the
that come
list?
in, like this particular one, and yeah. The BGC one,
We did it in the consent agenda.
right, so, but normally that's not what we do. So I just need somebody to be able to say, I can say, listen, we've had a request. Somebody needs to say, yes, the state, like, we'll draft the statements. Yes, this is fine.
And if it is assigned to one person and that person does not answer, does it become somebody else's responsibility to answer because we don't have punitive ability?
I think that's where I'm struggling with this is that, and that's where we'll go back to here of, this is a responsibility of council or the responsibility of mayor. You need to answer these things.
And that's why it went there. Now, the other part of this was they did ask for council to attend, so having that information, and then, we'll put it in your calendars, and if you can let us know that you're.
I was gonna add the other part of that is the flag racing itself. So it was put in consent or in correspondence because they sent a letter. They weren't there in attendance. But the flag policy as it was amended last year, council does approve those flags being raised. So council motion would have to come forward to approve that flag being raised. So that could happen at the meeting or, to do that.
They didn't want to come in as a delegation.
Wayne, if I may,
Go ahead, Joe.
so last few proclamations, they came to council and I read out the proclamation, they took a picture and everything. So how can I do that when I'm not at City Hall? Would that fall on the deputy mayor?
If you're not in attendance and there was a handshake,
not-
kiss the baby.
Well, I am in attendance, but it's done at City Hall.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
There's
But
no proclamations that come to council.
no, so he's saying, what if?
No, but there's, sorry.
But what was the proclamation, Joe, that you signed off on? Do you remember?
Yes, the Memorial's Day, the Legion, Veterans Day.
Proclamation, that was them giving you a copy, wasn't it?
No, proclaiming that weekend proclamation of the poppy and all that good stuff they do it every year for the proclamation for the Veterans Day.
Yeah, it was the kickoff of the Poppy
Yes,
campaign.
yes.
And I appreciate what you're saying, Joe, and there could be, just like we make other arrangements for special things where they do want a picture of you in person getting your poppy. Generally, other proclamations are, today is BGC Day, and we used to read it out before council meetings, and I am sure, but I could be wrong, that our policy now says that we don't read them out necessarily at council meetings, but we make statements on social media. I'm sure that was a change we did.
So when we have special people coming to council to receive their little declaration like that young little kid that did a couple last year when Tyler gave him this thing to picture with the mayor and all that. So we won't be we won't be doing that in council anymore?
We would definitely, that would definitely have to be one of our conversations about how we do presentations. But that's not the same as a proclamation.
Okay. We need to have it straight what it is and what isn't.
Okay. And maybe, and I don't disagree with you, we can add it to the May 26th P&T about presentations.
Sure. Let's put it on May 26th. BT.
And I could be wrong about the proclamation thing. I have this weird memory of being not happy with the fact that we weren't going to do it in Chambers.
So we're not gonna get closure on this one. So talking about proclamations, can you do some homework and let us know where we're at with them? What that's about, and even if you would be prepared to make a recommendation to us soon, we can say, yeah, it's a good idea, or no, you did make a very good recommendation.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
to close off the flag raising piece of it.
That's essentially, so, but we still have to come back and address that, right? The proclamation piece is what's currently the policy, what needs to change, what needs to happen to make it work for you guys. So it becomes clean and simple, checkbox, yes, proclamation is made, or no, it's not, or whatever. So I'm assuming that will come back to us at another PT. The other piece of this goes back on the flag raising portion of it. And we have a policy currently. What does that share with us?
Says, that council can make the decision on all city facilities. So
I
we
think
would need to bring that back at the next meeting for an actual decision
on any,
to raise the BGC flag for the day.
we did make a motion on that already. We just discussed it in here, saying, yeah, it's a good idea. Blah, blah.
We accepted their course. She's
Yeah.
accepted their course.
What day is BGC?
Yeah, we're okay. All right. So that'll come back as the motion next meeting.
So Wayne, if I may, for that, Boys and Girls Club, or whatever, the flag raising there, I can be there. Do you guys want me to be there?
I think all of council is invited.
It was in that letter from BGC.
No, I understand, but his question is different. His question is, am I allowed to be there? And if I'm allowed to be there, can I be there? And the answer is yes, you're allowed to be there. And as mayor, I think you should be there.
Well, I'll be there.
That's my sentiment for sure. But because right now you're not allowed in city facility. City
That's
hall,
right.
right, but
That's outside.
that's outside, so you're well within your role for sure.
And I'll respond to them from my email.
Say
Or-
again, Joe?
Are all of you responding to that, or as a group, we are gonna be there?
We haven't
We'll
voted yet.
be making a motion at the next council meeting, Joe. Because there needs to be a motion made to raise the flag. So
Okay.
at the next council meeting, that'll be the topic. And we'll vote on whether we raise Boys and Girls Club flag. And I'm sure there'll be all sorts of dissenters among us that think it's a terrible idea. So once it's approved, then we'll all be there. Those of us who
Okay.
can will be.
Thank you.
And invitations will come.
Yeah, we'll put it in your calendars.
Okay. I'm calling a close to this portion. It is, and I have my phone out, 3:53. I'm gonna take
Seven.
you're good with that?
I can do 7.
I'll take a 7-minute break. We will convene back in here at 4 o'clock as discussed for closed session. Yes, Kathy?
Sorry, Deputy Mayor, can I just I have an update to Councillor White's request about the Wetaskiwin Regional Public School development permit.
I'll pretend I didn't close this meeting yet.
Amazing, thank you. So I just got an email from Planning and Development saying that they have to wait hopefully only until tomorrow or the next day to get some information from Alberta municipalities regarding a change when Bill 50 and 51 went through. There was a portion of school sites that was updated, whether or not the municipality has to pay for the servicing or whether the school has to pay. So that's why we are now another little bit of a delay until we get back that information. So I just wanted to update you that it's not going today or tomorrow. It might be tomorrow or the next day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're up for a 7-minute break and then we'll go into closed session. Thank you, staff, for coming.
No.
Which is just exactly.
Well-
I'm needing to have it, and I'm crossing off my notes.
Here.
I should.
Anything that was, that's under committee of the whole and, and most of that's for information. So ours would just be like.
Again, and Bill will go, are you sure you don't want